the one on the right-hand side was actually taken down.
Tonight's Sunday. Tonight's a big night to part Perth and go to San Fran, Memphis, and Orlando. So this is the big one. Been pretty much packing all day, taking 3 bags. So much stuff to organise. Travel to San Francisco. Been a big long day. It's a very long day. So we're here. Time is it? What's the time there is? 1:10. 1:10 time. There's shower and all that, and look, they've got earplugs. Someone was complaining down there, 2 Aussies from Australia, complaining about they didn't get any sleep and banging all night and homeless people. Room there, 316. Now I need to get something to eat. I need to ring this thing and there's a shower.
The one on the right-hand side was actually taken down. Now, that's because during the '89 earthquake, Loma Prieta, during the Battle of the Bay, San Francisco Giants versus Oakland A's, the top deck fell on the bottom deck. Now, but since no one was hurt when that was during rush hour traffic, they came up with a saying, baseball saves lives. They actually got rid of that bridge. But on the right-hand side, you guys lost 4 days. Now, to the right-hand side, you'll see a couple of things we'll see downtown. It's a little bit murky today, a little bit hard to see out there. That's that marine layer, but don't worry about it. It'll clear up as the day goes on. So my chronology is going to be jumping a little bit left and right, but just try to stick ahead with me. So let's talk about where the Golden Gate Bridge is, but there's a big park place over there, and it's called Park Presidio. It's about 3.5 miles wide and long across. So our military was there. They took over that fort, and they've been stationed there ever since 1776 to 1996, which is 220 years. Now, once they were there, they occupied the land, and this land actually belonged to Mexico. Now, there was an actual treaty signed when we got this land. So while it was in works, they were deciding to change the name of this place. It used to be called Uruguay. We decided to claim this for the United States and call it California. Now, as long as we've actually been here, one second, you guys. You guys see that super huge ship in front of us, don't you? It looks like a princess ship. Now that's at our cruise ship terminal, and we have a lot of Grand Princess later. Now, and also on the right-hand side, you can see a whole row of bookshelves. We owe a lot of work to our literary artists here in San Francisco. Some of the people who've actually been here: Mark Twain, you heard of Huckleberry Finn. Now also Robert Louis Stevenson, he made a book called Treasure Island. We loved it so much that we named the island right over there by the bridge Treasure Island. Also Lawrence Ferlinghetti, which is one of the members who actually stayed here in San Francisco, who in 1870 we finally completed it and created Golden Gate Park. Then we decided to have a World's Fair here because San Francisco was so beautiful. So in 1893, we had the ferry building built, and we had the Japanese tea gardens put here. But then we had a bad homes around this area all averaged $3.2 million. And you had to pay $898 for homeowners association fees. But he beat them all because at the top, it cost $10 million to stay there. That's business. Now, that means your cell phone is going to be over 1,000 feet tall. And as we go over and go straight past the street, you'll see. Now, when you see these cranes everywhere in the area, you should know that they're building up. Not only are they building high-rise apartment complexes, but they are really building up for something. They're going to be pulling a new transportation terminal here, which is going to house our bullet train. I don't know if any of you guys know about LA, but LA is about a 7-hour drive from here. Now, the bullet train that they're going to be building, it's going to take us back and forth to LA in 2 hours. A 2-hour trip to LA, which is going to change the city because we're going to be so close and connected with them. It's going to be pretty great, and it's going to be an exciting time for San Francisco. Right inside those big windows, but we'll see.
building you're standing in front of right now is called the Officers Club. It was originally the officers' post when Alcatraz was a military prison, but when the federal prison families who lived out here, they described life on Alcatraz as being incredibly idyllic, that they never worried about the prison. They actually left their doors unlocked. That it was a sweet little town that they adored living in. The only thing I've ever heard that contradicts that is that they were instructed to go and take cover in this building that we're standing next to if there was an escape, if the siren sounded, because they didn't want anyone to be taken hostage and bartered for release of an inmate that managed to get out of the prison. Now, I don't know of any cases of that happening, but just the fact that the threat was there, that seems like enough to make you uneasy about living here, maybe. Anyway, so now it looks like everyone's caught up. So, it's a beautiful day here in the San Francisco Bay. All of you just took that boat ride out to Alcatraz. Got a nice good look at the San Francisco Bay, specifically the waters in between here and San Francisco. So now that you've gotten your close-up look, do any of you think you could make the swim back to San Francisco today? Do you think you could make that famous escape journey? No, I see a lot of you shaking your heads. I see one nod, okay. Those of you who don't think you can make that swim, why not? What are you worried about? It's cold. What else? Distance. Currents. One more thing that I always hear. Sharks, right. So sharks, currents, cold. Whole lot of reasons you don't want to try to make a break from this place, right? Let's talk about each of these things. Let's start with sharks. That's one that I like. Sharks, you will be gobbled up by a man-eating shark if you try to make the swim away from Alcatraz. Inmates got told this by the guards all the time. You just try to make that swim. Good luck to you. You'll get gobbled up before you make it a stone's throw away from Alcatraz. The guards would talk to the inmates about the man-eating sharks, and they'd actually brag to the inmates. They'd say, if you make it out of the prison, you'll meet some of the sharks that we've met. They'd brag that they'd go fishing down on the Alcatraz dock. That they'd go fishing and catch some of these sharks, pull them up onto the dock, throw them down on the dock, take out a knife and cut one fin off of one side of the sharks. That way, they could throw the one fin shark back into the San Francisco Bay, and they'd have this one fin shark that would only swim circles around Alcatraz all day, waiting for any inmate. Now, this is preposterous. You're all laughing. This definitely did not happen. But the inmates might have believed it. If you were a young guy from the middle of the country, you'd never seen the ocean before getting sent to Alcatraz, you might believe it. San Francisco Bay is host to a whole bunch of different types of sharks. Some of them are little sharks, little sand leopard sharks. Some of them are even somewhat larger sharks. However, we do not have that certain shark you might know of, that great white shark. There are a whole lot of those out on the Pacific side of the Golden Gate Bridge, but they don't like to come into the San Francisco Bay because the water here isn't salty enough. So that's the only species that's known to occasionally attack humans, and they never come into the San Francisco Bay. So though you may have a shark encounter here in the bay, you're not going to have the kind where the shark tries to eat you.